The national anthem of Jamaica is a prayer. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the playing of our national anthem. Be seated.
In the beginning was the Word. And the Word was God, and the Word was with God. In the beginning was the Word. Simple, pure, divine. And then there was a bass line. Rolling thunder from the soul, echoing under the control of family man's fingers on a 4-string Fender. In the amplifiers, out the speakers, in a groove, the people moved, and it was good, very good. The poet said, that's a nice part, but where's the heart? And behold, I heard styles, drums start, rat-tat-tat-tat-tat. The hi-hat was crisp and clear. There was a one drop on the snare, the echo on the rim shot sounded near, and the kick drum drum was heavy. Then the poet said, let's take flight, and brass horns came in. Nice and tight. Soaring above drum and bass, up and up into headspace.
There's a natural mystic blowing through the air.
And if you listen carefully now, you will hear. This might be the first trumpet, might as well be the last.
Many more will have to suffer, many more will have to die.
Don't ask me why. Things are not the way they used to be. I won't tell no lie. One and all's got to face reality now. Though I try to find the answers to all the questions they ask, though I know it's impossible to go living through the past, don't tell no lie. There's a natural mystic blowing through the air, can't keep them down. And if you listen carefully now,
you will hear.
Let's hear it for Tribe Sankofa. Come on, we can do better than that. 12 years of Tribe Sankofa led by artistic director Fabian Thomas. And earlier, we heard music from the Catherine Brown Quartet. And we're going to be treated to some more music in a little while. Happy World Poetry Day, Jamaica. Are we happy that it's World Poetry Day? Oh, we should be. We've been so blessed with some of the most talented poets in the world. And I say to people that it's amazing that at any given time, you can look around a room in Jamaica and just say, oh, it's Olive Sr., it's Kwame Dawes. How many countries get to do that? Can I get a round of applause for our poets that are here with us this evening? So we are here to celebrate World Poetry Day. We're going to be presenting awards. We're going to be paying tribute to a man that so many of us have come to love and honor and respect, Professor Edward Baugh. We're going to be paying tribute to him tonight. And of course, our Laureate Olive Sr. will deliver her charge as she launches. Should I give out the secret? If I not clap me nice, me tell her now. I catch you now. It's a secret. We're not supposed to tell secret. You son of love get people in trouble. Olive Senior has a surprise for you later on, and so we're waiting for that. Of course, this evening is being made possible through the National Library of Jamaica. May I have a round of applause for them and the work that they've been doing with the Poet Laureate program. 10 years. Funny how time flies when you're having fun. I can't believe it's been 10 years. Thank you so much, National Library of Jamaica, an agency of the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment, and Sport. And this evening, of course, is being supported by UNESCO. So we promise you it's going to be a fabulous evening. We'll be hearing excerpts of some of the award-winning poetry. C. Joy Douglas here. How are you, Madame Chairperson? Wonderful to see you. But to deliver the official welcome, it's my pleasure to invite on stage our National Librarian. Please put your hands together and welcome Miss Beverly Lashley.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Ministers, executive, media representatives, poets, newcomers, colleagues and friends, a hearty good evening and how no do. How no do? Right? That don't sound so fine. How no do? Okay, I finally hear you. So welcome to the National Library of Jamaica's World Poetry Day 2024. And this year we've titled it Poetry in Bloom. This year's celebration is really special. Just as our chair said, it marks 10 years of the Poets Laureate of Jamaica's program. 10 years of enhancing the reading and the writing of Jamaican literature and giving a platform to established poets and strengthening the voice of the poets to come. We have achieved much through our numerous seminars. We've had readings, we've had promotions, and of course, the installment and commitment on continuation, of the Poet Laureate of Jamaica prizes for poetry. And I think that deserves a round of applause, don't you? Tonight, we welcome you and all who have taken the time to join us commemorating our resilience and our progress. So help me to extend a warm welcome to those of, some of us are here and some will be coming, like the Minister, the Honorable Olivia Grange, ODCD MP, Minister from what we call our super ministry, the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport. In the House also is the opposition spokesperson for Cultural and Creative Industries, Dr. Deborah Icklin Gordon. Our permanent secretaries as well, they should be on our way from our parent ministry, Mr. Denzel Thorpe and Mr. Dean Roy Bernard. We have in the House, though, our chair of the Board of Management, Ms. Joy Douglas, and Principal Director from the Ministry, Mrs. Gillian McDaniel. The UNESCO team is here, Dr. Anna Paolini, Mr. Everton Hannam, Dr. Paul Hector, Dr. Maria Smith, and the entire team that's sitting over there from UNESCO Caribbean. This year, UNESCO has partnered with us, and they've partnered with us for Poetry in Bloom, and together we will be building bridges of, the lighting here, sorry, is very poor, can hardly see, of verse. I don't know if I can get some more lights. That span the globe while connecting hearts and minds across Jamaica. I want to say a special welcome to our Poet Laureates. We have Olive Senior in the house, Professor Mervyn Morris, and earlier I saw some seasoned poets, including Professor Kwame Dawes. Mrs. Sheila Baugh, the widow of the late Edward Cecil Baugh, and family are here, as well as Dr. Kerry Wallace, CEO of the Tourism Enhancement Fund. TEF was actually one of the first donors for the Poet Laureate program that provided a voice to the silent whispers of the heart through the Poet Laureate prizes and reclaimed our cultural narratives. In the house, we have a team here from the British Library. I know they're here because I'm seeing them, they're waving over that side. And they're here for a digitization training initiative. We've partnered with the British Library for training in digitization. So here they are in Jamaica. Welcome. We have Cecile, Eugenio, and Jonathan. The heads of agencies, colleagues, and friends, welcome all. Since 2018 proclamation of World Poetry Day as a national observance, we have passionately celebrated the literary heritage of our land. It is with this in mind that we make it a point of duty to elevate the profile of our events, serving you at a higher level. It is amazing to witness how our family tree of poetry has grown. We had 160 entrants this year, up from 125 last year, and 100% increase in the entries for the Edward Baugh Prize for Poetry. This increase, yes, does it deserve a clap? This increase was due to the modification of the criteria. So last year, we held this event at the Little Theatre. This year, it's Devon House. Who knows, they say next year it may be the National Arena. Yes? Okay. So tonight's events will be a celebration to remember. So please sit back, relax, and allow yourself to fully engage in all that we prepared for you this week, this evening. Welcome to Poetry in Blue. I thank you.
Thank you very much, Miss Lashley. Did I hear 100% increase in the Edward Baugh category? Can I get a round of applause for that? I remember at one of our celebrations, there was a video. They just gone on the street to do a vox pop, and they were just stopping people. Do you remember, Joy? They were just asking people, who's your favorite poet? What's your favorite poem? And you would be surprised at just how engaged Jamaicans are with poetry. And the beauty is our poetry is so diverse. It paints such a, I would say, such a vivid tapestry of the nation's soul. You know? It's such a beautiful thing, and we're so gifted. And I got to give another round of applause to the National Library for all the work that they've put into this program. And we'll talk a little bit more about the archives a little bit later on. It's the celebration of 10 years of the Poet Laureate program of Jamaica, and UNESCO Caribbean, of course, you here is a partner for this event. But now I invite the director from UNESCO Cluster Office for the Caribbean, Dr. Anna Paolini, to deliver her remarks. Let's hear it one more time for Dr. Paolini.
Well, thank you very much. Honorable Minister Olivia Grange, the Minister of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, as we heard, the Super Ministry. Mrs. Joy Douglas, the Chairperson of the Board Management, the National Library of Jamaica. Mrs. Beverly Lashley, National Librarian, National Library of Jamaica. Mr. Ryan Green, Director of Special Programs. Mrs. Olive Senior, Poet Laureate of Jamaica 2021-24, Mrs. Sheila Baugh, the widow of tonight honoree, our dear departed Professor Edward Baugh. Poet, artists, colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening. It is really with a profound gratitude that UNESCO stands with our esteemed partner tonight, celebrating the blossoming of poetry and its indelible mark on our shared human heritage. We extend our congratulations to all for their remarkable achievements and express our deepest thanks for the privilege to be part of this extraordinary evening in a fantastic setting, as you can see. UNESCO, in its commitment to fostering cultural diversity and dialogue, proudly recognizes the pivotal role of World Poetry Day. Established by UNESCO in 1999, the day aims at foster oral literary tradition, promote linguistic diversity, and advance intercultural understanding. This day stands as a testament to poetry's unique ability to touch the soul and bridge the divide between countries, between communities, people, nations, and generations. It recognizes poetry's contribution toward peace. We live in an era where digital tools offer unprecedented opportunity to preserve and transmit poetry essence. The Digital Jamaican Poetry Archive, an initiative by the Government of Jamaica and the National Library of Jamaica, exemplify this beautifully, marrying technological advancement with the rich tapestry of Jamaican poetry. The archive do not only preserves, it breathes new life into the literary art, ensuring that outstanding work by creators like our revered departed Professor Edward Baugh can live on. Last year, UNESCO introduced young Caribbean poets, including a very talented Jamaican poet, Christina Williams, to the global stage at the 40th Marché de la Poésie in Paris, which is one of the largest poetry festivals in the world. This underscores our dedication to nurturing emergency voices. I'm also delighted to see that through the active engagement of various youth organizations, Poetry Day in Jamaica is evolving into an entire week of celebration. This is a clear indication of poetry impact on its vibrant future. UNESCO remains committed to support poets and literary artisans of all ages through our initiative in media and information literacy, by supporting the capacity and the well-being of content creators, working with our member states to develop and implement policies and normative instruments. We aim to foster an environment where creativity really thrives, and the universal values of peace and unity are championed. Tonight, as we will pour a fertile soil, we symbolize UNESCO pledge to work alongside, support and empower every stakeholder to give voice to a diverse orchestra of creativity. Together, we cultivate a garden where the flowers of peace, inclusion, and diversity can bloom, creating an enduring legacy of unity and mutual understanding. I really thank you once again for the opportunity to share this celebration, and I wish to continue to nurture poetry that connects us all. Thank you.
And you will notice that tonight we're doing something symbolic. After our speakers have completed sharing with us, then they pour. Thank you very much, Anna Paulino, Director, UNESCO, Cluster Office for the Caribbean. Poetry matters, she says, because it is a tool for helping us to discover who we are as individuals, as Caribbean people, as citizens of the world. Those are words from our Poet Laureate, Olive Sr. And so it's a pleasure for me to invite her at this time to deliver her charge. While she makes her way, please check out the Jamaica Poetry Archive. You have a QR code, by the way, on those fans that you have. If you scan the QR code that's on your program, you get access to some of the NLJ's digital resources. So please, it's not just to keep you cool. You scan the QR code and you're able to access our resources. Let's hear it one more time for Olive Sr.
Good evening. This is just amazing that we're having this event at this location in this grand style. And I'm sure if Louise Bennett was alive, she would write a poem about how napkin turned tablecloth. So I'm not going to say very much because this is my last formal event as Poet Laureate. I'm not sure what the charge means, but I just want to say how grateful I have been to have, or how grateful I am to have been given this opportunity to serve, though it's been not without challenges. Beginning with, I became Poet Laureate in the middle of the COVID epidemic, so that was part of the challenge. But tonight I just simply want to thank the Minister of Culture, the Honorable Babsy Grange, and the Ministry for supporting this program, the National Library of Jamaica, and especially the National Librarian, Ms. Lashley, for hosting the program, to the Poet Laureate Committee for all their hard work, and especially the co-chairs, Ms. Joy Douglas and our dear departed Professor Edward Baugh. I gather that Justine Hensel is interim chair, and that is as it should be, because Justine was, I believe, one of the persons behind the initiative to restart the Poet Laureate program 10 years ago. So her commitment is very real. Most of all, I'd like to thank Royan Green, Special Projects Director of the NLJ, who was assigned to assist me from the start. And I'll just say that there is no one who could have performed this job better. Rowan Green is also responsible for this grand setting for poetry. I'd also like to thank all the poets and lovers of poetry who have supported me, many of whom are here tonight. Thank you all. I hope the Poet Laureate program will continue to get the financial and other support and needs to continue to bloom. One of the things that has impressed me about the current scene in Jamaica is how many initiatives there are in support of poetry, of people who want to perform and write poetry, but who, above all, are creating the spaces for others to engage with poetry. And the large number of entries in the Poet Laureate competition speak as well to the desire to create, to write poetry. I would like to congratulate everyone who entered the competitions, and especially those of the winners and competitors who are here with us this evening. I don't know what my charge is supposed to be, as I said, so I'm just going to close, because we have a long night ahead of us, by reading a short poem, because fairly soon there will be a change. There will be a new Poet Laureate. Don't ask me who it is. Nobody ever tells me anything. Actually, I don't think the process has been, I don't think one has been selected yet. So I'll just end by reading a poem called Everything Changes. Yesterday, the scent of rain arrived before the shower. As the sky wept, the scorched earth swallowed its bad temper. The earthworms turned in glee. Plants shrugged off their stupor and danced. Trees do not ask how long the rain, but message their roots, drink and hold fast. Tomorrow there might be a green awakening of the grass. Next day, a scorcher. Everything changes. Children are born as old friends vanish before our eyes. Evening's laughter gives way to sorrow. Morning's grief gives way to peace. And us, in this space together, even as earth spins, everything changes, and changes back to this moment of poetry and music and song, to art and memories and laughter. Hold fast. These are the very things that last. Thank you. I'm supposed to plant a seed.
Ladies and gentlemen, while she does that, may I invite you to stand as we salute Olive Sr. for all the work that she's done as our Poet Laureate. Such a big part of our digital archive program, shaking up access to understanding Jamaican poetry, inspiring love of Ireland. Thank you so much for all that you've done. We salute you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Professor Hilary Beckles describes Edward Baugh as blazing a trail across the cosmos of Caribbean literature, generating along the journey a silver light that illuminated paths for those around and to come. His style was without hurry. He was super cool, calm, and caused no heat. It was a magical performance from the maestro. Ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention to the screen as we present a video tribute to Professor Edward Baugh.
There's a place for people like you. I've heard up there the streets are made of gold.
I wish you a leaf falling from the tree of heaven, catching rare angles of light as it twirls in its fall, ever so slowly, such music, such flute notes, such silence. As it brushes your lips, and the turning earth pauses at their tremble. You snatch at it playfully, it slips your fingers and falls at your feet and is still. In the fall of a leaf, such ascension. Memories like comfort stones picked up on the beach, like a girl in a bathing suit astride a beach pony, and the man pulling on his jeans over wet trunks, like Escovitch parrotfish, and the little empress, fine-boned Nubian, beauty self-possessed, selling mementos of Marcus and Bob, her abundance of locks wrapped in Africa cloth. Like the brightness of the day, the shot silk sea, like nearness, like promise, like thanks.
There's a place for people like you. I've heard up there the streets are
Professor Edward Cecil Baugh, CD, first chairman of the Poet Laureate of Jamaica Committee, a long-standing board member of the National Library of Jamaica, professor of English at the UWI for 35 years, Renaissance man or man of literature, someone that has inspired so many of us. Mrs. Baugh is here with us. I'm just going to invite her to stand as we salute Professor Baugh. Thank you very much, Mrs. Baugh. Thank you, thank you. And now I invite the chairman of the Board of Management of the National Library of Jamaica, Miss Joy Douglas O.D., to the stage as she delivers her remarks.
Good evening, Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen all. I don't know if there are any boys and girls here, members of the media. I wish you on behalf of the National Library of Jamaica a wonderful World Poetry Day. This evening, I suppose I'm a little flustered because I didn't expect that tribute before I spoke. And you may be wondering, this evening we meet to celebrate Jamaican poetry. And I wish to use this opportunity to pay tribute to the life and work of our beloved late Professor Edward Eddie Baugh, CD, who was a committed member of the board of the National Library of Jamaica and co-chairman of the Poet Laureate Committee. In fact, I will confess I did nothing. Professor Baugh really did all the heavy lifting. And he was so committed to the NLJ that he attended a board meeting a few days before his passing. And I recall speaking with him about the selection of the new Poet Laureate because, of course, we knew that Olive's tenure was coming to an end. And I said to him, because he was having some health issues, and I said to him, you know, I'm going to ask Justine to help you with the heavy lifting. And he was so gracious and thankful about her stepping up to do that. I didn't know this thing was going to affect me so badly. Yeah, and so it was really a shock to me that he just went so quickly. And clearly you are realizing that I'm still being affected by it. Mrs. Baugh, I must say that you were married to a man, you know, and you know, you have man and you have man too, and you have man, right? This was a man. Did you hear his voice? He wasn't just a poet, you know. He had a voice, the voice. So not only could he write, but he could deliver his works in a manner that really resonated with you. But what I want to convey is just how really gentle a gentleman this man was. And anyone who came into contact with him, and I can understand, I can imagine persons he taught and so on, but as someone who worked with him for several years, I really feel it deeply, and it is a real loss to all of us and to Jamaica. But the good thing about it is that we have pretty much identified the successor in Justine. And so Justine comes on board. She was always on the Poet Laureate Committee, but she comes on board in a leadership position now, I think, in the shoes of Professor Baugh. And I know that she is going to continue to work at it and do well and ensure that this program develops from strength to strength. As the National Library of Jamaica carries out the core function of collection, preservation, and promotion of Jamaica's history and cultural heritage, it is fitting, therefore, that we meet to celebrate World Poetry Day and the 10-year anniversary of the Poet Laureate of Jamaica program at the historic Devon House. The recent history of this landmark actually began in 1881 with the property's first owner, George Stibel, Jamaica's first black millionaire. Devon House was later owned by various individuals throughout the 20th century. In 1965, thankfully, the mansion was saved from demolition by former Prime Minister, the Honorable Edward Seaga, then Minister of Welfare and Development. With support from the government, the property has gone through several uses and changes, including functioning as the National Gallery. For those who might not know, it was once the National Gallery here. And I remember being told that how could you have the National Gallery in a wooden building? So I think after a while, somebody said, you know, I don't think that's a good idea. And of course, the National Gallery was relocated into more appropriate accommodation. So this site fittingly now stands as a world-renowned heritage site and gastronomy center, a shining star in Jamaica's heritage tourism product. This house was visited by Queen Elizabeth II, and here let me pause to acknowledge the members, our family from the British Library, who are here, I gather, and I'm sure I'll meet them before the night is out. Various heads of state, but most importantly, which is something that Mr. Seaga wanted to ensure, that the average Jamaican citizen, any Jamaican, could access this property. And I'm sure particularly for those who live in Kingston and St. Andrew, it has really become an oasis for families to meet, to have ice cream, to just stroll around in a green space and on a heritage site that is so beautiful and well kept. It can be said that the Jamaican poetic tradition began in earnest at the beginning of the 20th century and was advanced by people who just loved to write, but did not necessarily intend to have careers as poets. They were affected by the political and artistic upheavals taking place around the world and the blossoming of Jamaican national cultural identity. Most notably, Thomas McDermott, 1870 to 1993, the poet, novelist, and editor who published under the pseudonym Tom Redcombe, worked to promote Jamaican literature, starting a weekly short story contest in the Jamaica Times, where of course he was the editor, in 1899, encouraging young writers such as Claude McKay, who some scholars believe was Jamaica's truly distinctive Jamaican poet of the 20th century and possibly the first such. The Poetry League of Jamaica was founded by John Ebenezer Clare McFarlane in 1923, and the Poetry Society of Jamaica was established in 1989. As you would have heard, the Poet Laureate program was revived in 2014 by the Cabinet, and I wanted to make this point, that the decision to revive the Poet Laureate program of Jamaica came from the level of the Cabinet of Jamaica. But at the time, the implementation was then led by the Ministry of Tourism and Entertainment and the National Library of Jamaica. Today, as you would have heard, the National Library is now an agency of the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, and continues to expand its poetry program that has become a form of applied social science. And I'm glad to see that this was included in the draft script, because this is something that we learned from our colleagues at the British Library. They have taught us a lot, and this whole notion of applied social science is something that they have worked very hard at, and we have learned about from them. Let us use this opportunity to acknowledge and congratulate our Poet Laureates. Professor Mervyn Morris, and I'm going to ask, where is he? Can Mervyn stand? Is he here? No, he's not. Well, we know Lorna. I don't think Lorna is here. And of course, we have Olive Sr., who is the outgoing Poet Laureate. We are acknowledging them for the pioneering work they have done to give vision, energy, and beauty to the program that continues to grow from strength to strength. And as the chairman who came towards the end of Mervyn's tenure went through Lorna's tenure and now Olive's tenure, I can assure you that each of the Poet Laureates since 2014 have really brought a very distinct style to their tenure. So it has not been flat. It has been energetic, dynamic, and this is why the program, I believe, is growing from strength to strength, because as our MC has said, there is such a diverse range of opportunities and expressions in Jamaican poetry, and I think this has come through the three Poet Laureates that we have had since 2014. Some of their signature programs include the Poet Laureate Presents, giving platform to up-and-coming poets. One of Lorna's big programs, which was highly successful, was All Flowers Are Roses, which was an initiative pairing self-defense and writing workshops to empower girls. Then, of course, our present Poet Laureate, Olive, has championed the implementation of the Jamaica Poetry Archive, immortalizing and saving for posterity the work and voices of our finest poets. Then we have the anthologies. Mervyn in this Breadfruit Kingdom. That is his anthology that he compiled. And of course, Lorna's New Voices, which has been very successful. We now await Olive and her anthology, which we hope to have out soonest. Olive, I don't know, I had a timeline from you. I hear you're working very hard at it. So we are looking forward with anticipation. And I am going to take the liberty, and this is a way of being the forceful person that I'm known to be. One of the things that the board of the National Library has been insisting on is that these anthologies are to be included on the reading list in schools. We have gone through a process at the board level to ensure that that is going to be possible with the 2 anthologies that have been published to date, and then with Olive's anthology. And so we expect and will insist, and with your support, will ensure that all our students in schools will in fact have these publications available to them for their own personal development and education with respect to Jamaican poetry and literature. So I'm enlisting the support. And so when Minister Grange comes and she's doing her meet and greet, please whisper in her ear that, you know, Minister, you need to get that signed and sealed, because we will not end 2024 without that being signed and sealed, because it cannot be that we have these wonderful works and the circulation is still very limited. Then, of course, we have, as was said earlier, and you will hear more about later in the program, the Poet Laureate of Jamaica prizes for poetry, which continues to increase in terms of the participation from year to year. These busy people, talented people, committed persons have done all that they have done while maintaining busy diaries filled with readings, lectures, interviews, overseas tours, local appearances. And therefore, I say to our poet laureates, a grateful Jamaica thanks you. And I'd like to invite you all to give them a hearty round of applause. And we are going to be doing everything. I'm sure Olive, while Olive is in the limelight now, she doesn't mind me invoking Lorna and Mervyn, because they have given a lot to this, and we would not be here on the steps of Mr. Sibel's mansion today were it not for their work as well. In closing, I would like to thank our parent ministry, Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, and of course our partners at UNESCO. And I am positive that having heard mention of the reproduction of the anthologies for schools, and given the fact that UNESCO is, the E in UNESCO is for education, and the C in UNESCO is for culture, they are going to respond positively when we approach them to assist with this particular program. So to all our diplomatic and corporate partners and the literary community, of course, we wish to thank you. Without you, we would not have the kind of support that we have had. We continue to encourage Jamaicans everywhere to take full advantage of the resources available at the National Library of Jamaica. And I am now to pour some water, symbolizing the commitment of the NLJ to nation building, and specifically to the building of a vibrant community of poets and other members of our cultural and creative industries. Ladies and gentlemen, I thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Joy Douglas, Chairman of the National Library of Jamaica. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think there's enough sand in it to save the seed. She's worried the seed is going to drown. So we have what I think is a great challenge tonight, and that is we have so many people that have turned out that we are short of a few chairs. But I'm looking around, and if you have an empty chair beside you, like if you have a bag on a chair, or you have your program on the chair, I'm seeing from where I am some empty chairs. I'm just going to ask you to put your hand up so that our ushers may see you. We have some senior citizens with us, and they are not seated. And you know how we are in Jamaica. We take care of our young, we take care of our seniors, we take care of our children. So if you stick your hand up for me, thank you so much. And usher will see you. I see some hands up. So if we can quickly fill those seats so that everyone is comfortable. I like that people have turned out tonight to celebrate World Poetry Day. Velma Pollard is also here with us. A round of applause for her. Another one of our stalwarts in literature. She hiding, behind the mask. She didn't know I'd make her out. She holding down her head. I would recognize you anywhere, madam. You're an inspiration. Thank you so much. So now it's poetry that we're celebrating, and I think it's time that we get another performance. Don't you agree? Yeah, no, come on. Don't you agree? I think so. And so coming up next is Javanel Trowers. They call him J. Talawa, and he is representing the Jamaica Poetry Society. They're celebrating 35 years. Founded in 1989, led by Tommy Ricketts. Tommy, please stand for me so we can acknowledge you. 35 years of the Jamaica Poetry Society and someone who's been at the helm. So, Javanel Trowers, Talawa. Here we go.
Good evening, everyone. This will be an original piece. It is called Olorun Ra, and it's a story that takes you from the heavens to the depths of the oceans, and it's the story of how a boy becomes a god. A little black boy wanders into the sea, becomes the sun, sets himself free, plunges into the great blue, bleeding the horizon, uncovers a new world, birth from the unknown. A watery grave sets the foundation. Atlantis, an unconquered dream, transfigured immortal wills summoning freedom to reign in their domain. A lost child and an ancestral family. Embraced for his bravery, he's granted wings. He soars to the sky. For a millennia, he dies low and rises high. Day by day, he collects the heavens in a golden rum bottle. Cosmic energy bubbles back to Atlantis. He forms a great congregation. He pours Milky Way libations, assigns their names to all the planets and stars. Joyous to be honored, they name his light Olorun Ra. All the universe now resides on the sea floor, in a singular grain of sand, infinity's terrain. Thank you.
That's Javanel Trowers. Thank you so much, Jay Talawa. Now it's time for some music. I told you they were so brilliant earlier. Once again, we're going to be entertained by the Catherine Brown Quartet. And we will be having Dr. Kathy Brown on keyboard, Sherwayne Thompson on bass guitar, Jesse Golding on percussion, and our vocalist tonight is Elan Neal. So, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for the Catherine Brown Quartet? Yes, and while we wait on them, remember on your program, it's very important, scan the QR code. And when you scan that QR code, you can check out the Jamaica Poetry Archive, and you get to receive access to some of the NLJ's digital resources. And I know a lot of people will do that in terms of research, but just for your own, growth and development, it's great to access the NLJ. All right, want to get some power into the key. Are we ready?
We are ready. Thank you. Hello, everybody. How you do? Fantastic. Now, poetry is so powerful, I'm going to sing a little bit of poetry for you. And if you know this one, don't be afraid to get up and sing with me, okay? You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want. But you must try, try and try, try and try. You succeed at last, oh yes. Rome was not built in a day. Opposition will come your way. You've got your mind set on a dream. You can get it, though hard it may seem now. You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want. But you must try, try and try, try and try. You succeed at last, oh yes. Persecution you must bear. Win or lose, you got to get your share. But the hotter the battle you see is the what? Is the sweeter the victory now. You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want. But you must try, try and try, try and try. You succeed at last. Can I see some poetic shoulder movements tonight? Hey, come on now. Oh, yes. Oh, you can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want. You can get it if you really want. But you must try, try and try, try and try. One more time for you now. You can get it if you. One more time. I love the choir over here. I need to hear a little more of you. Try and try. And again, we're going to sing that chorus again nicely. You can get it if you really want. Fill the air. You can get it if you really want. But you must try, try and try, try and try. You succeed at last, oh yes. Who you succeed, oh yes. Thank you very much. Give it up to the band on the stage. Our pleasure being with you this evening. You'll hear a little bit more later.
Let's hear it one more time for the Catherine Brown Quartet. You can get it if you really want. Do you believe that? Do you believe that? You don't sound like you believe it. You believe you can get it if you really want it? Well, let me tell you something. Right now we're going to be presenting some awards to people who believed that they could get it. That's why they entered. And I'm glad they did because they're winners. They are winners. They're winners. First of all, over 100 entries, 160 portfolio entries across categories. So may I have a round of applause for all our entrants? Our chief judge, Professor Mervyn Morris, commented that the prize-winning entries were confident, well-crafted poems with distinctive voices. The judges agreed they were the best of the more than 150 submissions. We also identified some other entries worthy of commendation. So across the 4 categories, there were 11 shortlisted candidates worthy of high commendation, and ultimately 4 prize winners. And the shortlisted candidates have been named on the National Library of Jamaica's social media accounts at NATLIBJA. So I'm going to invite the presenters. Please stand by. First, our Poet Laureate of Jamaica, Olive Sr., will present the Young Writers Prize. And the winner of the Poet Laureate of Jamaica Young Writers Prize is Keyshawn Thompson. Congratulations to you, Keyshawn. Keyshawn's got a fan base. I love it. Poets deserve that. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I know he barely got into his seat, but I'm inviting our permanent secretary for culture, Dean Roy Bernard, to the stage to present the Michael Cook Prize for Poetry. And the winner of the Michael Cook Prize for Poetry is Nikki Jean Windross. Hi, Nikki Jean. Yes, yes. Over 160 portfolio entries. That's something amazing. And it's amazing because while we're here celebrating our poets at the National Stadium, they're celebrating our athletes. And I think Jamaica has some of the most talented people in the world. Yes, we do. This is our Champs of Poetry happening now. Yeah, yeah. Congratulations, Nikki Jean. Thank you very much, PS. And I now invite Miss Joy Douglas, and she'll be presenting the Louise Bennett Coverley Prize. Miss Luda said, listen now. And so the Louise Bennett Coverley Prize goes to Marjorie Ann Howitt. Louise Bennett Coverley Prize. Marjorie Ann, I can't imagine how proud you're going to be to put this one on the mantle at home. Yes, congratulations to you. And thank you so much, Miss Douglas. Our next award is the Edward Baugh Prize for Poetry. And so I invite Mrs. Sheila Baugh to present this award. the only man I think that could write a poem about the brim of Ingrid Bergman's hat. Eddie Baugh. And our winner for the Edward Baugh Prize for Poetry is Melville Cook. Is it me, Mel, or are you getting younger? It's me. Congratulations to you. This is such an honor, the Edward Baugh Prize for Poetry. Thank you very much, Mrs. Baugh. I'm sure you'd like to hear something from our winners, wouldn't you? Yes. I think we're all curious to hear just how amazing their work is and the reason for them being awarded tonight. And so I'm going to be inviting all of our winners in this order to present one piece from their portfolio. So we're going to do it in this order, in the order that they were awarded. Keyshawn Thompson, the Young Writers Prize winner, followed by Nikki Jean Wynne-Ross, Marjorie Ann Howitt, and then Melville Cook. Ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause for our winners. First, Keyshawn Thompson.
Wow. Oh, wow. Good evening. So one evening I wrote this poem reflecting on shortcuts in the grass, because I found out there's like a way better name for them, and I was like, oh wow, this phenomenon of like leaving the concrete and like falling into the softness of grass is like so profound to me. So I wrote a poem, and it goes as follows. Desire Path. There is a poem in this wire across the soft grass, this pestling of its roots and the ants that mine. Desire. What a life-changing word for what I have called the broken, the beaten, the cut. Desire. Make a new thing in this placeless place and bring me feet to the promises. Desire. To tax these liminal trees of their plenty and bellyful, to corrupt this ground with my heel. Desire. Hope to be held by grass burrs and play mule to unseen fauna, a way out of no way. Desire. For rain to come down and turn us to you, the shaven earth, bridging wet souls. Desire. For I am a butu, probably folk etymology for a brute. Look at me trace, here.
Ladies and gentlemen, our Young Writers Prize winner, Keyshawn Thompson. And now we'll hear from our Michael Cook Prize winner, Nikki Jean Wynne-Ross.
Good night. This isn't my favorite, but my favorite one is pretty long, so I won't share that one. I'll share this one, however. And it is from my experience, really. So it's named Together We Have Touched the Heart of Love. Together we have touched the heart of love. And in that touch, love has grown like a vine that wraps itself seductively around the one closest to her and reaches towards the heavens where the golden circle shines, the circle that demonstrates the desperate desire that love has for him. The hands of love have embraced us and led us on a path to intimacy. Intimacy has searched our hearts and plucked from it emotions that has grasped us and pulled our bodies together like magnets. Our hearts have bled, and in that pain, we have become one, inseparable, two bodies wrapped around each other with our souls towards heaven. Together, we have touched the heart of love.
Thank you so much. Nikki Jean Wynne, Michael Cook Prize winner. Up next, our Louise Bennett Prize awardee, Marjorie Ann Howitt.
Good evening, everyone. I had a little bit of a difficulty deciding which piece to present, but this is a subject that is really dear to my heart, and so I hope that it will inspire somebody here tonight to do something about it. I can't close my eyes much anymore. If I close my eyes for a moment, it all comes rushing back, washing over me in rough, tumbling waves, like the one time you took me to the sea. I couldn't swim, and you promised to show me how. You promised that if I closed my eyes, I would not notice how scary it was. You promised a lot of things then, but that was before, and I don't close my eyes much anymore. If I close my eyes, I'm floating way up in the sky like the day you pushed me on the swing in Mama's backyard. She watched you through the window with her sharp hawk eyes, and she never smiled. When I told you to stop, you didn't listen. And my mother said I was growing up, but still acting like I'm little. And you said if I closed my eyes, it would be okay. But that was before. And I don't close my eyes much anymore. If I close my eyes, I can still hear the sound of your breath in my ear, rushing down upon me like 88 hurricane. I can hear your voice like low, rumbling thunder, saying, close your eyes. I'm your special friend, remember. You did not listen when I told you to stop. And my mother said that it was time I started growing up. So I don't close my eyes much anymore. If I close my eyes, I can still see the glint of the sun on Mama's cutlass, like lightning zipping through the darkened sky. I can hear my mother screaming for God's mercy. I can hear the familiar sound of a little child's cry. Then it all comes tumbling down like the rocks down the hillside the day my daddy drowned. So I don't close my eyes much anymore. I don't have special friends anymore. I don't know why my mother packed her bags and left home. I don't know what Mama would have done if the neighbors hadn't held her down. But I know why Mama hates you, and I know I hate you more, because I can't close my eyes much anymore.
Marjorie Ann Howitt, the Louise Bennett Prize awardee. And now we'll hear from Melville Cook, our Edward Baugh Prize winner.
Hello, good night. So I figured that this building behind me in front of you was once one of the higher buildings, taller buildings in Kingston. It's not that way anymore, is it? It looks pretty short now. Because Kingston is getting taller and the living space is getting smaller. Politics make a high-rise plan in Southside, Tivoli, Rima, Tarspen, Pineland. If you support our own walls and our own land, it migrate uptown, rename Oaklands. I'm a DJ Bounty Killer, they go live. Now we're knocking flat buildings down that spaced out a family, pushing up apartments where strangers' grounds and unused balcony. A lot of Kingston land has become the least. For my capital is getting taller, not to Panama City or New York Heights. Though them trying on the harbor, we can still see the sky at nights and not mix up stars and LEDs. I remember Matalan built Portmore Quad, 4 flat house in a square, them same hard. Now quad I go up on top of more quad, highs up in the ear without a yard, and it named studio. It named Airbnb. It named investment. Is Kingston number whatever the biggest difference between apartment and tenement? You move into a gated community seeking criminal immunity and find out, say, oh, you're running from the inside with you. Some are squeezed on gully siding as Kingston is rising and our walls are closing in. Stranger to the left of us, stranger to the right, stranger across the hallway. This is living the uptown tall-up way that changed our behavior. No borrowing of salt and flour. Apartment dweller, do you know your hallway neighbor?
Wow. Wow. I have to say, four poets, four diverse styles, but did you see how they captured everything about us? Yeah. Politics, love, emotion, so many things. Vibrant like flowers. That's why we're blooming in poetry today. Can I get another round of applause for our winners? Wonderful, wonderful. And now it's time for our main address for the evening, and that will be delivered by our Permanent Secretary for Culture, Dean Roy Bernard. The ministry, of course, has been an ardent supporter, partner of the Poet Laureate program over the last 10 years. And I have personally, I can't believe it's 10 years, Ms. Lashley, and I've just seen it grow and grow from the launch at the National Library in a small room to where we are tonight. I'm so happy to see this. P.S. Please join us. Put your hands together for our Permanent Secretary, Dean Roy Bernard.
When I stand before a body of people that are used to good speaking, good poetry, I better speak well. And especially when I stand in the shoes of the minister, Minister Grange, I must even do better. So please pray for me. Master of Ceremonies, our chair for the National Library of Jamaica, Miss Joy Douglas, other members of the executive of the NLJ. I saw Anna Paulino, our UNESCO head, for Caribbean head in Jamaica. Other excellencies, Miss Olive Senior, our Poet Laureate, reigning Poet Laureate, Miss Beverly Lashley, our executive director, National Library of Jamaica, other staff members and executives of the National Library of Jamaica, executive and staff members of the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, invited guests, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. Should I say good evening? Good evening. Good evening, good evening, good evening. Good evening, good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, there is a natural mystic blowing through the air. And if you listen carefully, you will hear. These lyrics come from our reggae superstar and our minister's dear friend, Bob Marley, as you would know. And I'm sure you have all been going out to the movie, watching the movie. If you have not done so, please do. It's very good. The words speak exactly to what we are all feeling as we gather here this evening to commemorate World Poetry Day Jamaican style. They speak to exactly what we are all feeling. There's no denial of the natural creative mystic blowing through the air. The minister indicated to me to tell you that she could not be prouder to be Jamaican and serving as your Minister of Culture at this time. She congratulates the National Library of Jamaica on achieving 10 years of success in developing literature for the people of Jamaica through its Poet Laureate of Jamaica program. I think you should give them a round of applause. To the NLJ, she says, yours has not been an easy task to foster widespread appreciation for and accessibility to the literature we speak of, but you have carried it out admirably. And as you know, our literature gives word, sound, and power to our global music and film industries, driving a significant part of economic development and building brand Jamaica. For our present successes in poetry, we have to thank the stalwarts who preceded us for their work. People such as Claude McKay, Honorable Louis Bennett Coverley, Andrew Salke, Una Marson, among others. It is upon their shoulders that we stand today. We also hail contemporaries such as our esteemed laureates, Professors Mervyn Morris, Lorna Goodison, and of course, Olive Sr. Each has demonstrated vision and grit, giving their unique expression to the Poet Laureate program across tenures. And ladies and gentlemen, we must never forget that from inception, the Poet Laureate of Jamaica program has been spearheaded by the Honorable Professor Edward Cecil Baugh, CD, renowned poet and scholar, who we continue to celebrate in memoriam. He served as co-chair of the Poet Laureate of Jamaica Committee from 2014 to his passing in December of last year. Because of the work of these and other writers, and increasing participation of Jamaicans at home and abroad, we can celebrate new methods of success for the program. Some of the successes: the NLJ possessing a database of approximately 300 budding writers, the majority of whom participate annually in the Poet Laureate of Jamaica Prize for Poetry. The National Library's recent digital developments, such as the Jamaica Poetry Archive and the Index for Jamaican Poetry. Over time, there have been numerous poetry events and organizations such as the internationally acclaimed Calabash Literary Festival, which celebrates 23 years, Jamaica Poetry Society, which celebrates 35 years, Pen Soul Jamaica by Rika G, Jamaica Poetry Symposium, and the Golden Tongue Awards by Yasso Safari, This Poem, Words, and Agro Festival, among others. I must also mention that very soon the National Library of Jamaica will be launching its NLJ Writers Alumni Program, creating a space for the continued training of young writers from all sectors of humanities. Ladies and gentlemen, poetry is indeed in bloom. Here I pause. There's an activity on my program. Here I pause to pot these beautiful Jamaican flowers, symbolizing our celebration of YOU, our literary community, who have continued to speak and to write, embracing a collective voice, showing strength in diversity and contributing a sense of purpose to Jamaica's identity and story. Here I pause. Clap now. Yes. Now let me thank our international partners, UNESCO, and the National Library of Jamaica again for exposing these key values and celebrating the Jamaican expression year after year. At this time, I invite our UNESCO head and the executives of the National Library to join me on stage for the symbolic planting. Well, you weren't here, but you can still come since it's symbolic already. Since it's symbolic already, join me still. We are all symbolic. Give them a round of applause as they come. Cheer them up, man. Let them feel good. So the tree has been planted, and we have had the photo opportunity. In 2021, thank you, ladies. Thank you very much. Another round of applause as they go back to their seat. The minister in 2021 recommended, and based on a recommendation, Ms. Olive Senior was invested by our Governor General as Port Laureate of Jamaica, and that was during the height of the pandemic. Since then, pivoting with the times, Ms. Senior has gone on to implement various technologically focused activities for poetry, chief of which is Jamaica's poetry, the Jamaica Poetry Archive. I would like to highlight, however, that at the start of Ms. Senior's tenure, she shared her desire to inspire care for the environment. And so the minister is happy to report that she has not backed down from her original intent. Now that Ms. Senior is departing the role, she is gifting us with an enduring work, her 23rd book, which will help us to see and deeply appreciate our Jamaican environment. At this time, ladies and gentlemen, it's my pleasure to present to you the book cover of a new anthology of poems produced by the National Library of Jamaica titled Tree Scene, Jamaica's Trees in Poems and Pictures, edited by Olive Senior, Port Laureate of Jamaica, 2021-2024. I should be having the cover. Oh, there it is. There it is. Image appears on screen. For this great gift to Jamaica, I thank the National Library of Jamaica and Miss Olive Senior. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I invite you back. Well, I guess I have here that I invite you to the stage. I invite back to the stage our chair, Board of Management, George Douglas and Ms. Lashley, the National Library Service, to receive the ministry a token, receive from the ministry a token of our appreciation. That's what I have here. So you're supposed to be coming back, Ms. Douglas and Ms. Lashley. Well, a token must be around somewhere. They must find a token. Token is here. So our Port Laureate has received her token. Give her a round of applause as she goes back down. And it's a frame collage of her various appearances in the local newspapers, celebrating her dedication to the work of the Office of Port Laureate of Jamaica. Another round of applause for her. So let me now speak to our writers. I want to encourage you writers to engage the various facilities that the government of Jamaica has put in place to ensure your advancement in your field. As a ministry, we have to follow the data, and the PIOJ will tell you that the creative industries are operating below capacity, so we need some oomph. Therefore, the dollars you could earn or the local and international goodwill, which could take your career to the next level, are waiting on you to refine your operations. I encourage you to take the simple steps to exist within our system, which has been structured for your growth. Continue to hone your skills. Enter the NLJ's poetry competition. Try your hand at engaging a publisher or explore publishing online. You may also register with the Ministry's National Registry of Entertainment and Creative Industries Practitioners. Deposit your published works at the National Library of Jamaica. Connect with Jam Copy and JIPO for the protection of your work. These and other actions will continue to lift our literature industry to the next level. And who to tell? Your poems, stories, songs could very well be used in the next iconic film, such as the Bob Marley One Love biopic movie. Ladies and gentlemen, the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport is committed to the advancement of our cultural and creative industries. Our executive and technical teams will continue to strategically lead our agencies, such as the National Library of Jamaica, towards delivering high-quality services to you, ensuring positive outcomes. We sincerely want Jamaica to be the place of choice to live, work, raise families, and do business. The creative industry has been a large part of that business. Ladies and gentlemen, let us continue to put our hands to the pen, not just to the plow. Happy World Poetry Day, Jamaica. Blessings.
Thank you very much, P.S. Dean Roy Bernard, for delivering that address for us and planting that beautiful tree. Now we're going to hear from the Jaiku Poetry Foundation. And on stage now is Casey Garvey.
To the saints, who are sinners who fell down and got up again, but whose heavy hearts still weigh them right back down to the ground. To those who've sinned 1, 2, 3 times, and even though you're forgiven, you still give in to the regrets you can't forget. To those who are blood-bought, hard-fought, yet still caught in the traps of guilt and shame, let this one word redeem and restore you. This one word seep deep into dry bones. This one word call you out by name. Quick, for even discipline is neither a denial of blessing or a delay of salvation. Your Father's name is I am, not I will. So he will not wield time as a weapon against you or rub a ticking clock of guilt in the wound of your sin. I am healing you. I am forgiving you. I am restoring you because you are my child. Quick, you don't have to wait until you've cleaned yourself up first. Wait until God's anger has subsided. Wait as some kind of penance for your forgiveness because Christ already bore the weight of your sin when he carried your cross that day. Quick, your Father has waited for you, not for your guilt, but for your repentance, not for your scorn, but for your return. Your Father has waited for you with a broken heart and an unbroken gaze, sitting at his window, looking out for you. So while you were still a far way off, he could run to meet you with open arms. Quick, before the mud dries on his feet. Quick, before the stench of the pigsty soaks into his clothes. Quick, before his empty pocket fills his heart with lies that losing your wealth means losing your worth. Quick! Bring the best robe and put it on him. Put a ring on his hand and sandals on his feet. Kill the fatted calf and bring it here. For my son, who was once dead, is now alive. My son, who was once lost, is now found. Quick.
That's Casey Garvey. Thank you so much, Casey. And now we're going to be hearing from Britton Wright.
Good night, everyone. Lost knowledge. What them a gonna know? How it a gonna flow? This continuance of tradition is broken because open hands only grasp convoluted tokens taken from storeroom shelves. Jamaican picnic lock themselves in this sickly conjured cavern of technological tomfoolery. Consider this a eulogy to bygone past times when we used to pass time pushing bicycle rim, all rusty and spoke less of how many likes we latest post get and spoke more of Anansi, Tukuma, Zachariah folklore. What them a go know, how it a go flow, the quote wore different fabric then. Then when we used to spend hours a shape tree limb for put nail in a fling with English card and watch it spin. Why? Why them two can't try find stick in a bush where shape like capital Y and make stone sing? Because all them spy is the big pill. Them take it without the food and sit still, clutching tablets, tabulating tales and tweets. No time to get acquainted with the sweet twittering treats of an antiquity. No, such things antiquated, outdated remnants of used to be. Peony wall in a tree replaced by man-made LED. And them never born come see jackass, Khan and Hominy. Never consume such delights with family. So what them are gonna know, how it a go flow, if not through me sketching poems with dusty metronomes and ancient acetates where vacillate like fashion for fascinate infantile hearts and wise minds. What them a gonna know, how it a go flow, nothing a go grow without the roots, but the truth is the youth is too blind and brainwashed for nurture seeds, cause all them read is an Instagram feed. Lost knowledge. Thank you.
Britton Wright, and before him, Casey Garvey from the Jaiku Poetry Foundation. And now to deliver the vote of thanks, the Director of Special Programs at the National Library of Jamaica. May I tell you, the very hardworking Ryan Green.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'll adopt the protocols already established and simply greet you like I do in all my emails. Warm greetings, good evening. Miss Lou would say, howdy and thanky, no broke, no square. And we will all agree we have so much to be thankful for. The Poet Laureate of Jamaica program at the National Library celebrates 10 years of far-reaching and multidimensional success, and I'd like to raise a round of applause for that. The National Library of Jamaica thanks the Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, and very specially our Minister, Permanent Secretaries and Technocrats for their unwavering support of the program. You have positively challenged us, and we have risen to the occasion and grown to become a better institution and a recognizable player for brand Jamaica and for poetry in Jamaica. We thank too UNESCO, our 2024 event partners, for the funding support given to this evening's program. I thank the leadership of the National Library of Jamaica. They have never wavered in their commitment to adopting and adapting cutting-edge approaches to serving Jamaicans. Miss Joy Douglas, the late Professor Edward Baugh, I'll miss you, Prof. Baugh, our co-chairs of the Poet Laureate of Jamaica Committee. That includes Miss Justine Hensel, the Honorable Earl Jarrett, Mr. Andrew Broadbaugh, Miss Yashika Graham, Dr. Kim Robinson Walcott, Dr. Isis Semaj Hall, and formerly Dr. Michael Buckner. And of course, our national librarian, my boss, Miss Lashley. Thank you. To our laureates, all of whom I've had the distinct pleasure of working with, Miss Olive Senior, Miss O, bless your heart, Miss Lorna Goodison, Professor Mervyn Morris. You've continually shared your heart of love and your creative genius with us, and we thank you. Without a doubt, The NLJ owes its gratitude to my colleagues, astute communication professionals who have poured into the Poet Laureate program. Miss Kristen Leng, who is here tonight, Mr. Stefan Morris, who is also here, Miss Vanessa James, Mr. Delano Jarrett, Mr. Ramario Ricketts, Miss Abigail Henry, and yours truly, Royane Green. To my colleagues from the other 12 branches of the National Library of Jamaica, your diligence, generosity of spirit, and dynamism are to be lauded. Let me tell you something, people. It's not just boring old librarians work down at the National Library. This that you're experiencing tonight is a product of our commitment to serving you in whatever way we can and however we can morph into that. We thank our media partners, thank you, who continue to carry our stories, activities, and calls to the public. Lastly, and very importantly, we thank you, Jamaica. We thank our community of writers, researchers, book lovers, and newcomers for participating. We say it's still a pleasure to serve. And here, I look up to the one who saw this moment before time began, and I say, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, we sincerely hope you'll continue to enjoy the evening, and on behalf of all of us at the National Library of Jamaica, we thank you for making it Poetry in Bloom. Have a good evening.
Thank you very much, Royane Green, for that. Can I get another round of applause for him? Hard-working, and for the staff and the committee members at the National Library. Please scan the code. You will be amazed at what the National Library has on offer. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for being with us this evening. The National Library of Jamaica is Jamaica's premier reference library and the home of the Poet Laureate of Jamaica. Please enjoy the refreshments that we have for you. Connect with our poets. I know many of you read their work, you admire them, you get an opportunity to see them now in the flesh and share a few words. The Ministry of Culture, Gender, Entertainment and Sport, thank you so much for your support. The National Library of Jamaica personnel, UNESCO, always supporting. And remember, when you're posting about tonight, tag the National Library at NATLIBJA. We're going to keep the vibe going with Catherine Brown Quartet and later DJ Power. Yeah, poets, that's how we party. Yes, that's how we do it. But thank you so much for making it out this evening. God bless you all. I'm Delia Harris. Have a wonderful evening.
Whenever dark has fallen, you feel the spirit of the party start to come alive. Whenever day is dawning, you can throw out all the blues and hit the city lights. 'Cause there's music in the air, lots of loving everywhere. So give me the night. Alright, tonight, give me the night. You need the evening action, a place to dine, a glass of wine, a little late romance. It's a chain reaction. All the people of the world coming out to dance. 'Cause there's music in the air, lots of loving everywhere. So give me the night. Yeah, alright, tonight, give me the night. So come on out tonight, and we'll lead the others on a ride through paradise. And if you feel alright, then we can be lovers. 'Cause I see that starlight look in your eyes. Don't you know we can fly? Give me the night. Give me the night. Cause there's music in the air, lots of loving everywhere. So give me the night, yes. Oh, give me the night. So come on out tonight, and we'll lead the others on a ride through paradise. And if you feel alright, then we can be lovers. 'Cause I see that starlight look in your eyes. Don't you know we can fly? Give me the night. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. It's been an absolute pleasure. Give it up for Kathy Brown on keyboards, and Sherwayne on bass, Jesse Golding on drums, and my name is Elan with 2 L's. Have a wonderful evening. DJ, your time. Thank you. Is that...
Yeah, man, reggae night. You live on your love. So turn on the light, make it shine bright. And listen to this. Jam it. Reggae night. We come together when we're feeling right. Reggae night. And we'll be jamming till the morning light. Oh, any real just call.